Well, good evening and welcome to Sky Blue Fans TV. That was fun, wasn't it? Who doesn't love a local derby win? Did the Blues really turn up today? Well, we'll discuss that. Team selection, maybe a surprise that Jack Rodoni missed out. We have heard more since the game has finished. But was it a complete performance? Did we dominate? It was really good fun, wasn't it? Some great chanting in the crowd. I'm over in Singers Corner, so there was some good banter, mainly one-sided towards them. We didn't really hear much from them, did we? Which is always a fun. So let's get Jonah in and we'll discuss today's game. How you doing, Jonah?
Very good. A lot better after that 90.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you manage to watch the full game?
Yeah, I did watch the game. I was streaming it on TikTok, so talking to a couple fans. I didn't think that we had an unbelievable performance today, but the fact that we were able to pull the result away when, we didn't have our best, I think it goes to show, one, we're a great side, and second off, I don't know if anyone told Blues that they had a match today. I don't. They just genuinely, that was a very, very poor performance, and that's not even from a biased perspective. It was a non-contest.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We were decent enough. We did enough of a job today. The second half, it just felt like we were camped in their half of the pitch, but we'll come on to that. So, firstly, the breaking news that we've received, unfortunately, is Jack Rodoni is out with a calf problem. This is going to be some weeks, according to the BBC. I think this is an interview that Frank Lampard has done straight after the game. Obviously, Josh Eccles, big boots to fill, put in a good performance today. But considering how thick and fast these games are coming, we've got 2 in the next 7 days. Fortunately, we then have a break. So the break is possibly coming at the right time for Jack. But again, following that break, we've got 3 games in a week with an away trip to the south coast of Portsmouth. How much of a miss is he going to be, Jonah?
It's going to hurt a lot, definitely. We can probably sneak away and say, it maybe did happen at the right time for 2 reasons. One, international break, and second off, you should never underestimate opposition. Obviously, we saw it last weekend, but we do play Sheffield Wednesday next weekend. I definitely felt that Frank was definitely teetering with a couple things. I don't know if you saw Kane Kessler-Hayden came on the wing in the second half. So it was already from off rip before any injury. Other players needed to step up. Other players needed to get a chance to get in and play meaningful minutes. Josh Eccles, there was never a better time for him to come back into the team. Slots in for an injured Rodoni. Not a direct one-for-one replacement, but Coventry kid, Darby. I don't know if you saw what he said before the game. They asked, should you show them any respect? He was like, no, absolutely not. I watched that last night. It had me so excited. He played great today, and a couple different guys are going to have to step up. So it's going to hurt, but I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Josh Eccles put in that performance today that showed that he can take us forward. He will be a good enough player to fill in. Like you say, we don't underestimate any opponents that we're coming up against. However, we're not playing the likes of Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester now. We're not playing these big boys that are going to, potentially hurt us and punish us with the lack of such a prominent figure like Rodoni. So we take the positives where we can, like you say, international break. That'll be good time to rest and recover. We also don't know about Ephron Mason-Clark. Maybe he's back. I know he wasn't on the bench today, but maybe we've got that option. Maybe we tweak a formation. There is options to go off. So we'll find out on Wednesday what Frank wants to do going forward. But moving on to the game, we started off, I think, the stronger team for certain. Like you say, I know you said Blues didn't even turn up. They got worse, obviously. But Brandon Thomas Asante capitalising on a bit of a long shot. I don't even know who the long shot was from, if I'm honest. It was down the far end from me. But that's striker's instinct, isn't it? That's exactly what we need from players like Brandon.
Yeah, he definitely just every time he plays, he just continues to impress. I mean, it's not even at the end of the day goals and assists. It's just all the little things that he does, the effort that he gives. And I think he has 2 goals from tap-ins now this season, and that's not a knock on him at all. That's what I was saying in my post-match reaction on YouTube. Like, he knows where to be. He plays the play until, the ball's out of bounds until it's in the keeper's hands, and he gets rewarded for it. So it's good to see him turn those consistent, solid, strong, good performances that he has into goals and assists. And I know he doesn't care about that, but it was huge in this game. It started, I guess, the steamroll of, what led to the yellow card, the red card, and then just obviously the end result.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was almost like a set piece style goal from a long throw. I know it sort of pinballed around their area a bit. We got a shot away, and that's what led to the goal. So positive that we've got some output now from Milan's throws. They looked really good today from where I was. They looked like they were hitting the penalty spot. That was long throws.
I guess he had a good stretching session, or maybe he talked to like a baseball coach or something. But can we talk about Milan for a second? Because he has been insane this season, in my opinion. I feel like he has just been a motor, a well-oiled machine up and down the pitch. Like until the red card, I'm forgetting their was it Kumas, their left winger. He had some good runs. He was proving to be like their danger man on the day. And Milan just shut him down, and just the way that he's able to get down and just play as a right winger when Sox isn't there is just, he's been so impressive this season. I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with the depth that we now have with Kane Kessler-Hayden is certainly pushing him on to, there's no room for error. Last season, Milan knew he could put in a bad performance, but he was playing next week. There were numerous times he did put in bad performances, or we would maybe say exhausted performances. He was trying, but he was knackered from playing all these games. He hasn't got room now. If he has a bad performance, he's out. Kane's playing. Same with De Silva, may I say. My personal man of the match today, Jay De Silva. He's been incredible. I know he came on at the back end of last season and was a lot more improved. He's gone to another level again, hasn't he? I know, again, we've got Miguel Brau as cover. I know he's mainly played on the wing at the moment, especially in pre-season as well. But again, De Silva's got no room for error. Like we saw last week, he was dragged off at Leicester for being booked and, being outperformed by one of the better players in this division. But again, he's come on so much. He really has. And like I say, personal man of the match for me today. What do you think?
Yeah, really the whole back line. And this is a really good thing to have. We always are going to focus on like the things that are pressing and concerning, and that's the lack of attacking depth. But the back line all have backups. They all have people pressing on them to take their jobs. And because of that, they have improved so much. We've seen it all season with Milan and Jay De Silva, who I agree with. He played amazing today. Like, he's not letting his height be a factor at all. Like, he's a very feisty, small man. The back line, just with Wolfenden coming in, they have been near flawless these last couple games. I mean, Bobby Thomas, Kitching, like, they're putting in the work, like, physically and mentally. Mentally, I've been seeing a huge difference, like not giving away silly fouls, holding the back line. Like, it's just been, the defense has been really underrated this year, in my opinion. We obviously had the set piece crisis, but since post international break, it's been a thing of the past. Great.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think you've nailed it there. We've kept back-to-back clean sheets now for the first time. I'll look at when the last time that was. I can't remember off the top of my head. Even the Norwich game was the goal that Norwich scored was not a fault of Bobby or Kitch. It was a bit of a Milan switching off and being out of position. The one against QPR was obviously a blunder from Rushworth. We had the two at Oxford that were set pieces. I called for Bobby to be dropped at that point, especially when we brought Luke in. But again, Bobby's gone to another level. It's really, really fantastic. I'll do some comments just before we talk about the red card in the second half. Disappointing it wasn't for. I'm even going to say we need more results like that to give Sims some time. Yeah, we'll come on to the second half and the subs as well. Cov Andy says Rudy out for weeks. Yeah, I've just spoken about that. Uncle Jonga, excellent performance and result. We were in full control from start to finish. Glad to meet Claudio earlier too. Oh, excellent. Well, speaking of Claudio, he's just here. We'll get him in. Gordon Tulliart, De Silva was excellent today. My man of the match. Yeah, me as well. Dark Farts are winning against Birmingham as it should be. Was never in doubt. Great performance today, says Mick Davenport. We're winning the league, says the Kissin. Mark Packman, hi, Jack and Jonah. It's great to go second in the league. I think we'll be top by Christmas. Wow, that's some positivity, Mark. We can go as low as 4th today. I haven't got an eye on the other games at the moment, but I know 4th is the lowest, which is still fantastic. So anything's possible. Great win shows in transfer window, quality rather than quantity. Maybe so, but none of them are playing yet. That's as well the thing we've just talked about. Eccles, Grimes, De Silva, unbelievable. I know we're a man up, but that was a proper professional performance by everyone. 3 points. Yeah, really was. Gibbo, how comfortable was that? Made Blues look ordinary even before the sending off. Craig Tully says Milan was his man of the match. Josh has set high expectations today and needs to maintain that level. Yeah, he absolutely does. We know Josh will give 100%. He might have some poor performances, especially coming back with this freak injury where he's got an extra bone in his leg. Really bizarre. But yeah, we know he'll give 100% all the time. He'll play for the badge. 40 says Kitchen was the man with the shot before the follow-up. I did think that, but there were so many players there, I wasn't sure. You can see the work that Frank and his team are doing on the training pitch. It's really showing, isn't it? Adam Toms, we bought so many new defenders in at the moment and they can't even get a sniff. Everyone at the back is impressive today. Yeah, absolutely, is what Jonah was saying. Jay's had 2 amazing games. Well, he did his best against Leicester, struggled, but it wasn't a bad performance against Leicester for sure. Anthony says, shame Sims didn't score, but he created the chance. Yeah, again, we'll come on to that. Still second and all matches at half-time. There you go. Thank you, Salop. Right, let's get Claudio in. Hello, Claudio. I heard you were slumming it with the rest of us today.
Yeah, you needed me back in block 18, and look what happens. It was, wow, what a performance. What an absolute performance. I mean, I don't know if Jack's read out my message that I sent to our group before the game. I'll read it out. Well, this is obviously when we heard about Rodoni, and straight away, we all looked a bit long-faced, didn't we, outside the ground, Jack? We're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And I put draw at best today. No flair in this lineup and no depth. I'll be amazed if we win today. I'm absolutely amazed. I'll tell you what, now's the time, isn't it? Now's the time that if you get your chance, you got to take it. And that's what these players are doing. Josh Eccles, or I'd like to call him Joshelinho. That's his new name as far as I'm concerned. He's like this new Brazilian number 10 we've got up front. I just did not expect that of Josh today, especially because he's had no minutes whatsoever. You know,
he's better than that Jock Ekness that we had a couple of years ago.
Exactly. But I just thought, you know, they did their job. And I mean, I was right. Lyndon Dykes was playing.
Yeah, I didn't realise there was a late change, to be honest. I saw the starting lineup, realised he was on the bench and had no idea they'd swapped it.
Well, and I thought, I don't know if you talked about this, it played in our hands because that big lump, he's not going to get any change out of Kitchen and Thomas. And I was thinking, fantastic. They haven't got the little Japanese guy that would cause us a bit of a problem because he's nippy and gets in behind players and all the rest of it. Stansfield, how much they spent on him? League One at best. I'm sorry. He's not good enough at this level if they think he's going to get him promoted. And that's because we are so good at the back. And it's, you know, we're not conceding many chances from open play, basically. And we've done it again. It was great. Absolutely fantastic. Jay De Silva, man of the match for me all day long because
you've agreed with me
he was up against Tamara Gray. You had on the other side Kumas, which I thought when they changed, when they had the sending off and they took Kumas off, that was fantastic for us. They took the only guy who looked dangerous, really. It was perfect. And in all honesty, we were controlling the game at that point anyway. We were 1-0 up. I just kept thinking, I can't see how they're going to score because they just didn't look a threat whatsoever. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant today. And I just, it's weird because we sort of complain. I was talking to Luke about this, saying we haven't got enough depth and all the rest of it. Maybe we're too hard on our squad. Maybe this squad is better than we actually think. And just because we support the team and see them week in, week out, we tend to have too much of an opinion on some of the players. Yet when you listen to other podcasts, neutral, people who aren't even involved in this division, even the second tier podcasts keep going about how great a squad we've got. Maybe they are. Maybe we have genuinely got a chance to get promoted this season and not through the playoffs either, because 7 unbeaten. And I can't see, I'm going to say it now, I can't see anybody beating us. I'm not bothered about Millwall. We predicted 9 points, didn't we, out of these next 3 games?
We did, and we've got the start that we wanted out of these three. So
I just think today just maybe proved to me that we have got enough. I mean, obviously, you wouldn't want to start with what we finished with on the pitch, but for an individual player to come in, it's not a problem. I don't think. In fact, when he made all the subs, I said to Luca, "We've got the Carabao Cup team out now," and we scored a goal. We scored a goal, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the breaking news, Claudio. Jack Rodoni's been ruled out with a calf problem and will be some weeks. So
I was listening to it on the radio. It is what it is, isn't it? You just gotta, get on with it. We had Hadji Wright out for half a season last season. It's going to happen. All teams have got injuries. We think we're the only ones, but if you look at all the squads, I think Blues have got 4 or 5 out at the minute. You just got to get on with it. Roll your sleeves up and grab your chance. Just get on with it. I've got to say, yes, I just heard you say Uncle Jonga. That was quite funny in the car park. And then to be somebody at the urinals as well to say, enjoying the pod and all that. It's a bit weird.
Well, but still. Nice of them to say anyway.
Nice of them to recognise me in the urinals. That's a bit worrying.
Where was he looking, Claudio?
Well, exactly. Anyway.
Yeah, we're all in agreement that was a definite red, wasn't it? 2 yellow cards. No qualms about that.
Just the first one was stupid, reckless challenge. Second one,
stupid.
Was when I saw the on the half time, went downstairs, saw it on the screen. It's clipped him, caught him, tried to pull him back. It's a booking. It's a booking anywhere on the pitch, to be honest. And fair play to Hadji Wright. He put some effort in today.
Yeah, it was a 0 IQ play by their center back to get that yellow card. They showed a really good replay on the broadcast. It was prototypical, but Hadji had a battle today against Chris Clark. He's a good center back. He definitely was giving him a tough time today. But I saw some good stats. Hadji won a decent amount of duels. A bit wasteful in front of the net today. He didn't have his best game, I guess, numbers wise. And that's just how I keep feeling about this game. Is like we didn't have our best game, but we were still able to get the results. And that I was gonna butt in before, but Claudio, everything that you say, I agree. First off, when they took off Kumas, I was very confused about that. It felt storybook because it's like you're gonna take this, you're not gonna take off the big names, but you're gonna take off the guy that was playing best. So that we were already up at the time, but that made me feel good. And then second off, this team can get promoted. I've done a lot. I've been trying to get opinions on Coventry from different sources, not from a fan. And I've listened to a lot of Blues podcasts. I've listened to a handful of Norwich City, second tier. Like teams are genuinely horrified to play against us. They talk about the squad. They talk about the depth of the squad. Like we are just hard on the team because we have high expectations, as you should for your club. This is a deep team, more on the defense than the offensive side of things, but it can be done. It can definitely be done. The word that I will not say. And it's all really good stuff. It's obviously great right now. There's going to be ups and downs, but just feels really good today to not be at your best and still get a convincing victory.
Yeah, we're looking good, and at the moment, like I said, I know we might still fear the likes of Ipswich and Leicester and Southampton, but they're not at the top of the division running away with it. It's Middlesbrough at the moment, who we've got a good record against, and why can't we go for that second spot at the moment? Why can't we go and be one of those teams? They keep proving us wrong. We all said, playoffs will be good. We're not sure. They're proving us wrong. We can go and do this. We can. Why not? Let's have faith. Let's have some positivity, and let's really go and be the team that's 10 points clear. We might fall away later in the season because other teams have got more depth, but if we're 10 points clear, who knows what happens? Anything can happen. Sunderland found that out last season, didn't they? They were so far clear of the rest of the pack that they didn't need it, and they still went up. So moving on to the second half, we got a very early goal in the second half that, for me, killed the game. That was it. Done and done there. 2 goals up, a man up. That finished it off. Very, very well done to Josh Eccles as well for keeping that ball alive. So easy to let that go out. Heads it back across goal into that danger area where we know anything can happen. There's a touch from the defender. Does it cross the line? Claudio said to me, yes, it definitely did. From my one and only view, I've not seen his back. From the one view I have, it looked nowhere near a goal, personally. Claudio says the technology's never failed. Well, it has. We saw Villa stay up a few years ago from it, or Sheffield United fail from it in COVID. What do you reckon, Jonah? You must have seen 100 replays of this.
So they didn't show many replays because I don't think that they had a shot of it going over. So the close, you know how they usually have really good camera angles that are super close? All they showed was like a sky shot as if you were in the stands. So it didn't look like it went in. I'm sure there's another angle that shows that it did, but hey, there's no VAR. Sometimes you benefit from it, sometimes you don't. So it is what it is. You know, we've been hurt several times this season. Handballs, things like that. The penalty against Norwich on Haji Wright that wasn't called. Like VAR would have changed those decisions. So that's what it was called in the pitch. You just have to go with it.
Well, they got the goal line technology, and the assistant looked at his watch. It went goal, and the ref did the same. And I looked at mine; it definitely said goal. So
it said goal and sofa score. That's what matters to me.
I'm hearing between 4 and 1 mil over the line. Well, that's it.
Yeah, there's some comments here. Salop says 4 millimeters on the TV view.
They didn't complain. There was no Alsop didn't complain, did he, at all? You know, in fact, they'd have been hounding the keeper down. The referee down if they thought it definitely not gone in.
I said that at the time. I said from my own vision, it looked nowhere near over. However, the technology and everyone says it was over, and like you say, there were no complaints. That's the giveaway normally. You know, players sometimes give away a foul or it goes for a corner, not a goal kick. You can tell by player reactions whether they're happy or not with the decision. And the Blues, they knew, didn't they? They knew that was it. And like I say, for me, that was game over. What were your guys' feelings?
Oh, definitely. It's what's weird, Jack, today? That was a local derby. You couldn't get a closer local derby for Blues. They never played the game like it was. I said to Luca, they haven't put in one real tasty challenge. I mean, the reckless one by Robinson's a bit different. That was just a bit reckless, but not a proper sliding on your backside tackle. There was nothing from them at all.
Yeah, they had the one on Eccles, didn't they? That was a coming together that he dropped to the floor.
Yeah, but there's nothing.
That was it.
And even their support, I thought, was poor today, considering they sold out. It was weird.
I said to my dad, I said, if I'm paying 45 quid for a ticket, I'm singing 45 quid's worth of songs, no matter what the score is. And they really didn't, did they?
You know, I think they turned up today thinking they were going to give us a good game. And they never, and I put that down to us for once. We never allowed them to get a foothold in that game at all. Mr. Grimes playing in that sort of sweeper in front of the back four role is possibly one of the best signings we've had in years. You know, that guy is like a Rolls Royce, isn't he, at this level? It's fantastic. You know, such a good player. And at times it kind of frustrated me, like it does a lot of us, because we want to get the ball forward. But we created a lot of movement by switching it around today. I thought, and he's the pivot, isn't he? He's the key in that role. To be honest, I know we've lost Rodoni. To lose him would be bigger at this present moment because we have nobody who can do that. You know, so what's the question again, Jack?
Well, you've answered it. I want to hear Jonah's thoughts on what were the Blues fans like? Could you hear them at all on the TV? And they didn't, like Claudio says, they didn't treat it like a derby, did they?
No, I could hear our fans, obviously, but the only thing that I can think in my head is flip the script and say, you know, last weekend we show up to Leicester and we put in the absolute worst performance of the entire season. And then also factor in the expectations they had. Like, you know, you can call it entitlement, just like with all the money spent and things like that. And then you just come over and you just drop the absolute stinker of all time. They were just deflated. And we did the right thing, you know, control possession, just take the crowd out of the game. Not that they were ever going to be a factor considering they were 10x outnumbered, but it was just complete control from the start of the game. So it was probably just a very depressing and drunk day for the away fans today.
Yeah, right. 2 more points before we wrap up. Ellis Sims comes off the bench. I thought he put in a really good performance. Every time Ellis comes off the bench, I say, please run around like you want to start the next game. Give us something that we can see that A, you can change a game, and B, that you might warrant starting a game should Hadji pick up a minor knock, or we need to tweak things around. Hadji needs to go on the left and Sims needs to play up front. Show us something. He really did today. That long ball from Carl Rushworth that ended up being the pre-assist, if you like, that he ran onto, should have probably scored, but did enough to keep the ball live. And then even just other runs in behind, both down the left channel, down the right channel. He really gave a good account of himself. Now, I'm the first one to jump on Sims' back and wind up Vicky. But fantastic off-the-bench performance today. What do you guys think?
He when he come, it's interesting because he came on and the fans got right behind him straight away, singing his name, and he was up against they're two centre halves, but then that ball went over the top. He actually looked like for once he was going to win that. He wanted to win it, and he burst through. And to be honest, although he got his toe to it, I actually feel he had a claim for a penalty there because the guy was tugging at him at the time. But he did exactly, and Lucas said, that was all about Sims, that goal. You know, the fact he actually challenged. We've seen him in the past not really go for it, like give it up before he's actually had an attempt to get to the ball. But that's what he wanted. And yes, he did another bit where he held it up, played it out wide. And I kept saying, that's what we want to see. That's what we need when he comes on. So, and he can do it. I believe he can do it. But he has to do it when he gets the chance now. And yeah, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant today when he came on.
Reminded me a little bit of Sheffield Wednesday away, that last minute winner where he didn't give up on a Milan hoof, basically. Challenged the keeper and tapped the ball into an empty net. So, Jonah, what were your thoughts?
I think he already had nailed down that, right now with the injuries, that super sub backup for Hadji Wright. But it was really good to just see him get a little bit of confidence behind him. You know, he put himself in a good position. That ball by Carl Rushworth was amazing. You know, he finished the play out. He got a shot on target. That's the most important thing. And then Torp was there to, finish his dinner. But it's a really good step in the right direction. I mean, what do you guys reckon? Could you see him getting a start against Sheffield Wednesday? I could see it, to be honest with you. We've got a late kickoff on Wednesday night and then an early kickoff on Saturday. So it's a quick turnaround. You know, maybe we go and we beat Millwall and Sims comes on again. And if he has a good performance again, I think we could see him starting. Maybe, you give Hadji a little bit of a rest or you try him out on the left, but that would theoretically be, and I said this earlier to Jack, you're never going to want to underestimate an opponent, but that would be the time to test out, your Sims up top, your Kessler Hayden at right back or right wing, your Brow at left wing. Like, you can kind of change things around, but let your guys know, like, hey, like, if things aren't going right, we're going to get you on. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's a good shout, actually, Jonah.
Yeah.
Because we have to utilise this squad because we're going to run out of players if you keep flogging the same players game in, game out. Other teams change it, like Leicester last week changed 3 or 4 players, didn't they, from the week before? So we need to possibly do that. I think that's a good shout, actually, because surely he can play for 60 minutes. We're in a great position to beat Sheffield Wednesday, regardless of what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've got the option of Asante or Hadji off the bench as an option, if Sims is underperforming, they're both, they're going to change the game. They're going to offer you something different, which is exactly what we want. Right, a few more comments before we come on to the last point. Sky Blue Army says, we all need to start believing this is our season. Let's hope so. Luckily, the international break's coming up. I think that's in relation to the Rodoni injury. Salop says that Jay Stansfield looks lost, hardly had a touch. He needs to bulk up a bit. Yeah, he doesn't look like a £15 million player.
Well, I thought, Jack, I said to Luca, I says, I bet he didn't think he'd be playing most of the game at left back today. I mean, that must, as a forward, I mean, it's happened to me years and years ago, and you have to drop in because, and he's probably thinking, I'm a striker. I don't want to be playing down here and having to deal with Sakamoto twisting and turning and jinxing and doing pirouettes and all sorts. And then you got Kessler Hayden, then you've got, Milan down there. I bet he was just totally peed off, basically, and couldn't wait to get off.
Well, yeah, did he actually have an injury or did he fake it just to go off the pitch?
Well, he wouldn't be the first player to do that, would it? I've had enough. Just get me off.
Yeah, exactly. Threw his toys out the pram because it wasn't going his way.
Yeah.
Dykes looked like someone out of Game of Thrones and played like it. Yeah,
he's rubbish. And I said if we'd have signed him, I'd have been massively disappointed because he's nothing. He's not better than anything we've got in our forward line.
Yeah, lots of people saying that the ball was definitely over the line. Glenn Watkin, Birmingham was so poor, they seemed to be rattled by us. Birmingham didn't even have a shot on goal. They were terrible. I think the only one that was remotely on target, Bobby blocked from Jay Stansfield. So that's not counted as a shot on target. They looked a bang average side with little creativity and attacking threat. Robert Mason says, massive shout out to De Silva, who completely nullified Gray and was switched to that side. And Sims was like Joseph Lomu. I think Jonah Lomu, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's twice in 3 games he's caused mayhem leading to goals. Yeah, absolutely right. Fordy said, I thought even the subs were great today. Andrews looked good in the ball. Sims causing problems. It's nice to see the subs are hungry and making an impact. That's the last thing I want to briefly chat about. The subs today did a job, didn't they? Alan looked a bit like a Grimes-esque player. He was a Rolls Royce that came on and did a job. Andrews looked that hungry number 10. He was on both the wings, trying to keep the ball in. Brow looked lively. Kane looked lively. And we've discussed Sims. That's exactly what we want from our bench, isn't it, Jonah?
Yeah, it is absolutely necessary for, the aspirations or the expectations of what we are hoping to achieve this season. So just seeing them come on, and it's, of course, got to look at both sides. It's easy to come on in a game like this and perform, but just seeing just the energy and just being active and making runs and things like that, it's just such a positive sign, because you can't win the championship with the 11. You have to have role players. You have to have players that can come in and do a job. And they aren't all there yet, but they are showing green flags that, with a few more appearances, maybe even like full games in this next week, like those 3 game weeks, like just positive things, really just all positive.
Yeah, I think that, like saying, Jonah, perfect game to come on, really, because the game was, they'd lost it. They tried a little, but it gave our lads space to run around and try a few things. And it was a perfect game to come in. But we still carried on with the momentum, didn't we? We didn't not try and score and just hold the ball at the back. We kept trying to push forward and kept, these guys were involved in some really good moves towards the back end of that game. And in the end, even though they've got 10 players, they've still got 9 behind the ball for most of it. So you're still having to play around them. It just means our forwards got more, our defenders have got more freedom because they're actually not marking anybody. But I mean,
Yeah,
they didn't even sing on the Villa, did they? Not once.
they did, and we cheered about it, and then we shut them up instantly.
Oh right,
they started to sing it. We just heard it a little bit. Salop said our subs may not be attacking sexy football, but they're all experienced, steadying players. Alan is great at that job. Yeah, they absolutely. Afternoon all from Munich, says Lee Beckett. Thanks for tuning in, Lee. Blues were better fielding off Lisa Stansfield. I don't know who that is. Sorry.
People, hold on. They are a bit of singing.
So to our predictions, that puts myself even further in the lead. Claudio's behind me. Miles on a sad, sorry 4 points.
What was your prediction, Jack?
I went 2-0. I was almost gutted that we got a third, and I wanted a fourth after that, but I still got to 0. I got the 0 bit right. That's the key. Right, we'll be back tomorrow night, 7:30 live. We'll tell you about some more events we've got coming up. I'm sure we'll talk about our David Speedy night last night. That was fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
We'll have some clips up and on social media very soon for you to have a look at if we can get past the swearing filter.
Yes.
Great night, wasn't it, Claudio?
It was. It's brilliant. It was really good. Really good. Very confident as a player from the way he was talking, and feared nobody. But we knew that if you'd seen him play, he didn't fear anybody, actually. Before we go, can I just say BTA played so well today, I thought. Really, really good. Really good.
Yeah, he got the official man of the match today. Ken was in the lounge getting his videos as he always does. So I'm sure we'll be able to show you some clips again. And yeah,
it's all about effort, Jack, in these sort of games. You just got to put it in. The fans get behind players. It raises the atmosphere. We win games. I I was trying to think of a nickname for the CBS. I mean, you obviously have things like Lion's Den and all that. I was thinking Elephant's Lair. I was trying to think something to do with elephants. Maybe somebody can come up with something because we're just trampling on teams. We can score 3 or 4 at home against a lot of teams this season. I am confident of that.
There you go, Jonah. That's something to put out on your channel, on your TikTok. Yeah. Go and find out what people can come up with for us. The Elephant's Lair or
the Phoenix Nest.
Yeah, this one's a little more wholesome. Last time it was alcoholic beverages. This time it'll be a stadium name. Yeah.
There you go. That's your challenge, Jonah.
Phoenix Nest. How's that? That sounds a bit dangerous, doesn't it? Anyway.
Well, we are rising from the ashes, aren't we?
Most definitely, and we're looking good. We are looking really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in and for all of your comments. Give us a like and subscribe before we go. That'd be great. We're back live tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. I'm sure the team will be there. I'm not available. And Jonah, are you available Wednesday night after the Millwall game?
Wednesday night, what is
10
it?
10 p.m. So 5 p.m. your time?
Possibly. I'll let you guys know. It's just I got to go to sleep because I work at night. So we'll see.
No worries. All right.
Overrated sleep is.
I know.
Thanks again for joining tonight, Jonah. Thank you, Claudio, for joining as well, straight from the game. We'll see you all very soon. And a big play up Sky Blues.
Play up Sky Blues. Second in the league at the minute. Come on, you boys.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.